Welcome to Kids Glove. My name is Malachi, and today we're with our co-host,
Leia,
and our other co-host,
Aria,
and our guest.
My name is Neek during the day, Neek at night from Hot 103.9, 93.9.
Have you ever interviewed Lizzo before?
No, I haven't, but I am looking forward to the day that I can do it. Definitely. She's a amazing, talented artist, and she has so much fun on stage when we watch her performance and, her music videos. So I'm looking forward to interviewing her one day.
What characters have you voice acted or a voiceover?
Okay, so actually I haven't done really any character voices when we're talking about animation or any type of cartoons and stuff. I do more so like professional commercials for businesses, and it might be some products or something like that. It might be concert shows, and then sometimes I may have to act a character, something like that, but not necessarily for like cartoons or animation.
Who is your favorite artist?
Ooh, who is my favorite artist? Gosh, y'all, it's so many. It's so many that I've met. Let me think. As far as I'd say what performance wise, like somebody that's up to date that you guys will probably know. So I love Cardi B. I love Cardi B. I think that she is just so much fun. She's authentically herself, even with all the fame and the fortune that she has. I don't think she's really changed. Like, of course, her outer appearance has changed some, but for the most part, she's still herself. So I would say like Cardi B is fun. I know we were talking earlier off camera and somebody mentioned Glorilla. So, I'm saying like Glorilla is, definitely, she's a lot of fun and I can't wait to interview her as well. So I know you guys are familiar with Glorilla. Let me see who else on favorite artists. I would say probably like a R&B artist, somebody that's been around for a long time, who's been established and she's still going strong, touring and stuff, would be Janet Jackson. I love her stage performance. Every time she releases a new project, she, gives us a different look, stuff like that. So I like Janet Jackson a lot as far as that's concerned. So those are some of my favorite artists.
Why do you like beginning on the radio?
Why do I like being on the radio? So I would say radio is fun for me just because we're not on camera. All you do is basically when people tune into the radio station, they hear my voice. And, I can look any kind of way and it doesn't matter. Also, it gives me some creativity to be able to paint pictures with words. I can describe something to somebody and they're listening and they can paint their own picture in their mind of what I'm talking about. So that's one of the reasons why I like being on the radio. And secondly, is music. I love music, so I couldn't rap. I couldn't sing, you definitely don't want to hear me sing because I don't sound good, but I can talk. So I thought being on radio would be fun and I've been enjoying it.
Who's your first interviewer? My
first interview was in college. And let me see, who was the first interview that I did? So you guys, this is, oh gosh, this was a long time ago. But Snoop Dogg, believe it or not, was one of my first interviews. I went to Georgia State University and they have a very massive college radio station. The radio station WRAS is 100,000 watts. So it could reach all of Georgia as well as Alabama and like the panhandle part of Florida. And so when people would come in town because they've heard of our massive college radio station, they would definitely want to come in and do interviews. And Snoop Dogg was in town. I can't even remember what he was in town for, but yeah, it was really cool to meet Snoop. And he's really tall in person, like really tall in person. But he's taller than that. Oh, you okay? Okay. Yeah.
Where did you travel and where did you travel to?
You're talking about as far as like doing interviews or I have traveled some, like I've traveled to the BET Awards. And so what they do is they have what they call the radio room. So they invite like radio stations from all across the United States. And matter of fact, we will be in a room, probably I would say maybe 4 or 5 times the size of this room. They would have microphones set up for us and they would have, the different states and the different radio stations. And so I've traveled to LA to do stuff like that. I've traveled to Vegas to do stuff like that. I've traveled to Dallas and Houston, Texas to, do different interviews while I've been working at the radio station. So it's been quite a few different places. So, yeah.
What made you want to interview people?
It's actually part of the job. So we don't just interview famous people. We also interview people in the community. We interview people that have nonprofit organizations because they feel like radio is one of the ways that they can go ahead and get the word out about if they're having an event, if they're having a fundraiser, if they, are wanting people to know about their product or their service, so it's not just famous people. We actually interview more people in the community than we do famous people or some of the people that we actually play their music on the air.
Cool. How old were you when you started getting into the radios?
Probably 19. That's when, that wasn't my first year of college, but my second year, I wanted to go ahead and start. I was a mass communications major. So mass communications in college deals with radio, it deals with newspaper, print, and it also deals with television. I got to do all three, and I actually just got a job in radio first, so that's where I've been ever since.
Do you have to have a 4 college degree to work at the place you're working at?
No, actually you do not. But for me, I'm glad that I did go to college because it gave me so much more knowledge and information about what it was that I wanted to do. So I am super thankful and grateful for being able to go to college and study mass communications and working in the field that I went to school for.
How tall was Snoop Dogg?
I would say that Snoop was probably, and I'm not really good at heights or whatever, but I would say maybe about 6'5". Maybe I would say 6'5". Yeah.
Like real 6.
6 feet 5 inches tall.
What made you want to become on the radio?
Really, to be honest with you, so when I started in college, I actually wanted to go towards television. I was really interested in doing like special effects and graphics behind the scenes. But again, my major in college, like you have to take all these different courses in there. And when it was like, you had to go ahead and get some experience working at the radio station, our college radio station, I went there and it was just like, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? We got to play the type of music that we wanted to play. And we started, I started doing some interviews there. And actually what happened was somebody heard me at college radio when I was going to Georgia State University. And so actually the rapper Ludacris, his manager at the time, his name was Shaka Zulu. And Shaka Zulu heard me and said, hey, we have some openings at our commercial radio station. You should apply. And I applied and I was working part-time while I was still in college doing 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And, I started at the bottom and just started working my way up.
I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's it for Kids Gloves.
Yay! Thank you.